Hello everyone, it's Angie here at Beads and Plenty More, and today I thought with Halloween approaching and everything we'd do these little skeleton queens. So I've got one that's made into a keychain here, and then I've got one that I'm going to make into earrings, so I've got the pieces to make the second earring here. Just get her arm straightened out. And then I've got one that's not a Halloween one at all, it's just a little beady person to give you an idea of how you could just alter this so that it's not quite so Halloween related. So I've got the pieces all set out here, and I will supply a supply list at the end of the video here if you want to screenshot it so you can go and collect your supplies. But basically I've got all the pieces laid out to make the other earring for this one. So starting with the legs here, I've got 27 links of chain here. You may have to experiment around a little bit, especially if you start swapping out some of the other pieces in the little person here, because you might find that you need a little bit longer or a little bit less chain. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 4mm rondelle onto a head pin, and we're going to bend it over and cut it to length. So you need just a little under a centimeter remaining. Then I'll take my round nose pliers, make my loop, and I'll just hook that onto the end of the chain. And same deal with the other side of take the other one, fold it over. Now the reason we fold it over is so that we get our loop centered on the wire, because we're folding it one way and then we're going to correct it back the other way. So I've got my wire right at the end, and I just bring it back around. And just hook that to the other end of the chain here. Okay, so now I'm going to take my eye pin and I'm just going to open the loop at the bottom up. And we just need to find the center link of the chain. So I've got an odd link of chains here. Remember I said I had 27 links. And if I pick it up right, I get the center. So then we'll just close that back up. And now we're ready to actually start building the body. So I've got my little skirt, which is just a bead cap here. And then I've got a little rhinestone belt. I used a heart bead as the actual body. We've also used teardrops on some of these other ones. And then to get the arms on, you need something that you can attach little jump rings and chain to. So I was having trouble finding something, and then I found this bead cap, and it's got the loop on the top. But necessity is the mother of all invention, so I'm just going to take my wire cutters and cut the loop off. And just make sure I still have something I can thread through in the center of that. I will thread through it. And just bring it down on top of the heart there. The nice part about these ones is you can fold them into whatever shape you need them to be, so you can fold them flat against the heart. And then I've got a little skull, little magnesite skull. And then, because we decided to make them queens, we added a little crown. So that's a little rhinestone rondelle, a bead cap, and I've got a little bead that goes inside the bead cap, and that makes it easier to make your loop at the top, because that allows you to bring the wire up just a little bit, so you're not trying to make the loop inside the bead cap, and it's a little hard to get in there. So then I'm going to do a wraps loop here at the top, so I'm just going to grab right above that little bead, fold it over, Then I'm going to move my pliers. This is the barrel I want to come around. So if I come around that barrel, it gets me my loop. And we'll just hook our shepherd hook onto that. And then if I just take my needle nose pliers and I can hold the loop and wrap the tail end. And once I get enough wraps that it's sitting tight, I'm just going to come in and trim it. Take my needle nose pliers again and just cut the extra little bit off. Or trim. I said cut it, but I meant tuck it in. There we go. So there's our little body, and we just have to attach the little arms on. So the arms, I've got another 2 4mm rhinestone rondelles, one for each side, and I've got head pins. So I'm just going to do the same thing we did with the legs. And now these ones I've only got 5 links of chain. I figured that worked out well for a length for an arm. Again, you may have to experiment around a little bit with your chain to decide what you like. So you'll see me make the loop first and then I hook the chain. I find that that's easier because if you try and do it all at once, you end up with loops that aren't very round. It's nice to get the nice round loop first and then you can go back and just add the chain in. And then I've got 2 little 4mm jump rings here. And if I just grab a couple pairs of pliers, you can open them up, hook them onto the... Now, the reason I picked this one is it had loops that I could hook through. You'll see with the other one that we've got sitting out here, the one I made into the keychain, that we used a different bead cap. And it was a bead cap I didn't have to cut the end off of, but it was also a lot more round and it fit that bead just fine. But it wouldn't necessarily fit the bead that I was working with. So the little heart that I was working with is a lot flatter and it didn't seem to work as well. So you can see how you can play around with different ones and get different ideas. And we'll just hook the other side on. And there we go, there's our earring. So I hope that inspires you to do your own little earrings, and I hope you have a good day. Have a good day.